Step aboard Motor Yacht Unbridled, where elegance meets the open sea. Dive into a world of refined adventure, tailored experiences, and 5-star service. From sun-soaked decks to moonlit dinners, every moment on Unbridled is designed to indulge your senses, whether it's an intimate escape or a celebration of a lifetime. Unbridled, where the extraordinary is standard.
Introduce myself. It's Liam, Motor Yacht Unbridled. This is a captain's chat, just designed to create a bit of transparency in the industry and positivity and awareness for different platforms. And I'm honoured to have Nick Santana here from Grand Yacht Crew. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Nick.
Yeah, guys. So I'm Nick Santana from the UK originally. Currently calling from Australia. It's nice and early in the morning. And my background is I was in the Royal Navy for 8 years. Travelled all over the world and served on 3 Type 45 destroyers. And then when I left the Royal Navy, I pursued my transition into the yachting industry, and I did pretty much every wrong move you could make. I had no idea what I was doing. Experienced a lot of hardships, a lot of setbacks that could have definitely been avoided. And it's weird, you go through these experiences and they kind of lead you on a path. And I guess that path led me to Grand Yacht Crew. So for 2 years, I've been working on this now, and we're finally making moves. We're building an amazing community, globally. It's something I'm incredibly dedicated and passionate to, and I'm now working full time on it. So it's a really exciting opportunity for me. But I think the exciting bit about it is the people that are getting involved, the influence we're having, and the places we intend to take it to. So yeah, really excited for what's to come, and yeah, grateful to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time. I've got a lot of questions already that came through, and it's got a lot of traction. My WhatsApp is kind of blowing up, and that seems to be your platform as well. So as a captain, I've been in yachting 25 years, and yachting's over the last decade with these WhatsApp groups has kind of developed quite a lot, and first it was Facebook groups, and then it was kind of Instagram, and then it kind of came to WhatsApp. But you've really taken it to a whole nother level. You really escalated it. And when I go onto yours, it's like it's a world you can kind of live in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And for those people who don't know, just explain the type of groups you've got within your platform. Explain the platform in WhatsApp a little bit.
So just for the record, I hate having the community in WhatsApp, for the record. It's a nightmare.
Okay.
It's a nightmare. I wake up to hundreds and hundreds of messages every day. And I get direct messages. It's a love-hate. I love it. I see it. I'm like, yes, everyone's chatting. But then I'm also like, I've got to catch up now. And it can get painful. But for me, it's part of the journey. We're laying the foundation for what's to come. We're developing a web app, which I think is going to solve that problem, which is really exciting for the future. But for me, it's about building an ecosystem, a community like this. It's globally. So we've got members from all over the globe in different time zones. And what I'm trying to create is, just like you said, a world you can live in. We want to provide support to crew in all areas of their life. The yachting industry is volatile, at times unstructured, and it can be really unforgiving. If you're not on top of all these different aspects of your life, whether it's mental health and fitness, your finances, even your career development, seeking the right mentorship, you can make a lot of mistakes if you get that wrong. So what Grand Yacht Crew aims to do is provide a holistic support system. And we're utilizing WhatsApp because it's what the industry knows. Everyone uses WhatsApp to communicate. And we've got this idea for, an open source job board. Because as we know, all these agencies out there that you've got to sign up to, and you access their jobs, and you go on YachtSpot, and you go on all these amazing platforms that are out there. But ultimately, you don't always get you don't always get the job opportunity that you're looking for. Yeah. And then a week later, after so much stress and turmoil, you end up getting a job through word of mouth. So I figured, why not have a group where we can change the narrative and we can offer jobs, open source. So that's been really, really great. And we're hoping.
When you say open source, you mean direct to the emails? Transparently from the crew to the end user.
Yeah. So ultimately, crew who are looking. For example, we had one yesterday who I think it was a chief stew looking for a temp stew in Palmer, and within 3 minutes she found someone. Do you know what I mean? Fantastic. And it's it's streamlining the process, and that's what we're trying to do at Grand Yacht Crew. I want to streamline the industry. Like, our slogan for the company is your journey, our mission. And that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to safeguard your journey through the industry, whether you're entering the industry, just starting out, or you're developed, or even experienced looking at your way out. We want to look after you every step of the way. So that's what we're working on building, and it's really exciting.
Well, it's good because it's making it frictionless, but it's also changing an industry, though, because this industry is, quite kind of set in its ways a lot of time. We're just looking at the moment here, but it's quite set in its ways. So it's good that people challenge it. I do see, I'm sure you've had the ups and downs already. What motivated you to start it? What was the first question I had here was what motivated you to start it?
I guess so when I left the Navy, I basically was going into project management, and I was interviewing for big corporate defense companies and stuff, and everything experienced enough, and you're too young, and it was a real struggle for me. And then I moved to Australia, and then I was networking like crazy, but I didn't know anyone in the industry. I didn't have any idea what I was doing, or I came at the wrong time of year, went to the wrong place. My CV was awful. I had no qualifications really. I had an STCW and an ENG, but that was it. And I was just I'm so not ready for this. And then I somehow managed to get a job, but it was the job fit for a bosun, and I didn't even know what a jammy was.
Yeah, exactly. I
was like, whoa, I'm so in over my head. And it was just that shock to the system. But then the inspiration for Grand Yacht Crew came 6 to 8 months later after I'd figured it out. And I gave inspiration to my best friend to come into the industry. He took that leap of faith, moved himself over, and I gave him advice on what to do, where to go, and then I watched his transition in just to be so seamless. And he's just done his yacht master. He's just taken on a chase boat captain role in the Med, and he's doing his 3rd season. He's flying, and it just goes to show that with the right kick and the right inspiration and empowerment, you can really skyrocket people's performance. So he was the inspiration. His name's Joe Povey. He's fantastic. And I guess it's just I got an addiction there, and now I want to do it for thousands of people worldwide. So
good on you. Well, it's good because I saw that post about how to become a yachty, so forth, and I read it all. I've been at 25 years, and I'm really motivated by junior crew coming in. And people say, "Oh, it's a greenie." I'm like, "Oh, fantastic. That's perfect." What's your experience before yachting? And that really shows a lot. When people's experience before yachting, it could be the Royal Navy, it could be a bartender. It really doesn't matter where they came before. They're bringing skills, and people devalue those skills. And that's the bit that upsets me. People come with challenges into yachting, and it's how do we find the tools they need. So the question I've got here, though, has just come through. What are the most common challenges that people face when joining into yachting?
I think I'd say uncertainty. There's so much uncertainty, and there's a lot of risk that you have to face. So for me specifically, you take big commitments when you come into the industry. You leave your family, your friends, you go to these amazing places, but you don't always have that guarantee of a job on the other end of it. So there's a lot of uncertainty and stress that comes with it. And I think building that mindset to be able to just be relentless and, persevere through those doubts, those worries, the fear of failure. I think having a mindset is crucial, because if you allow yourself to be weak and be beaten by it, you're not going to succeed in the industry. You've got to chase it. You've got to persevere through the hard times and trust the process as well, because the jobs will come if you want them bad enough.
True, but it's hard to see the light. I mean, it's even for me as a father and my 2 kids, I don't know when I'll see my wife and kids again. I'm not on a rotation. I'm being vulnerable, and I'm telling you the transparency. But that's the thing about yachting. It's that uncertainty. And as a chef, you're only as good as your next meal. As a captain, you're only as good as your next passage. As a deckhand, you're only as good as your next night watch. So how do people, and I'm sharing that vulnerability as a captain here, saying I'm only as good as my next passage. I can be fired easily for whatever reason. People might not like me anymore, or charter guests, so forth. So why is yachting like that? With the experience you have and the people you see, the groups we're starting, mental health, financial things, from a big picture perspective, from a Royal Navy kind of perspective, if you want to look at it, Why is yachting like that? Why do we have that lack of support, or that lack of that high standard that people can get fired straight away?
Yeah, I think it's just a lack of like centralized structure. Like for me, from my personal experience, is in the Royal Navy, it's a massive organization that dates back hundreds of years, and there's systems and structure in place. There's tailored career pathways, and it's guided by a governing body and an education system that allows you to develop in leadership, allows you to be supported in all areas of your life. You get your healthcare, you get your dental, you get support in your finance, you get all these support systems in place, and it's separate to your job. It's always there. So for me, it's like coming into this industry, I'm like, well, I'm seeing there's a bit of a gap here, because if I lose my job, for instance, I'm just back out in the wild, wild west, and I've got to go back in the mixer, try and find the next gig. And it's really volatile. But what I aim to create is a bit of a network that can kind of mitigate that. I think having a support system really helps, and it makes it less volatile. And I think what it will do is take away that uncertainty, and it will give you the confidence that if you're starting to doubt yourself in your career and your job day to day, you have a network there where you can reassure yourself, because sometimes guests just get the wrong idea. You're not going to get on with every single person in the world. And if you do, I want to meet you. But if you have a network that is professional, cultivates a culture of growth and, professionalism, then you know that you can back yourself and understand that the uncertain times, maybe they're just temporary, and you can back yourself with the reputation you're building in this network.
Sure. That's what I'm finding a lot more and more. People are creating personal brands in yachting, and they really need to realize as a deckhand, when you're coming in, you're bringing more than just your chamois skills or your chamois 3000. You're bringing your own personality, and the more people that embrace their own personalities, I think it does have a lot of strength. Can you share a memorable success story already for Grand Yacht Crew? What's something that's happened in Grand Yacht Crew in the last 2 years? You've gone, that's a surprise. That makes you feel good, or for someone else.
So, well, like, I guess like the people that are coming in, like, for instance, like over the past few months, I've, launched the WhatsApp community. Yep. In 9 weeks, we expanded to 4,000 members globally. Wow. And we've had up to 23 people volunteering all over the world with way, way more experience than I've got in the industry, way more insight, and the passion that comes from these people. What's amazing for me is like, I'm not alone. I'm not the only passionate person here. And it's reassuring, I've put hundreds of hours of planning into this. And it's like, when people finally get on board, you're like, oh, thank God, I'm not crazy. But, for me, the people that have come in to help me, like, they're volunteering, they're putting in a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work to promote initiatives worldwide. Like, for instance, a young man called Cam Hobson, he's about to move to Antibes, new to the yachting industry. And, he was inspired to get involved. He's looking to, really commit to his career and do well. And he came to me saying, I want to start a Grand Yacht Crew rum club. And I was like,
I did see that.
Yeah. And I was like, no, why don't you start a rum club, and we'll show you the way and we'll help you, And then we had Meg Venter, who's an amazing asset to the Grand Yacht Crew team. She's incredible in mental health. She runs Dudes on Deck, Girls on Deck and stuff. Amazing asset. She's amazing. And she helped Cam with the logo, and then we've given the platform to be seen. Within 2 days, there were 200 members in the WhatsApp group. The first run's on the 22nd of April. And it's like, if a greenie can be empowered to do that sort of stuff through our platform, it's like, and we're only just getting started. Imagine the influence we can have on the industry globally over the next couple of years as we get bigger and more established.
Yeah. So, that's what I'm loving about yachting too. It's a big industry, yachting. People say it's small. No, it's not really. It's a big network of people that, from shipyards to contractors, that support this industry, and it's pretty exciting. Have you got any questions for me or the Unbridled team?
Yeah, so you did mention to me that the team was speaking about Grand Yacht Crew. I guess for me, it's like, a lot of people see Grand Yacht Crew as just a WhatsApp group. And I guess what I'm eager to know is, like, what's your perception of Grand Yacht Crew at this early stage? Because I get a lot of people confusing us for a recruitment agency, which we're definitely not. A lot of people thinking, oh, who's this? Like trying to do like, and it's like, I'm eager to know what it's like on the other side, you know, looking in.
Well, I don't know. I'm always a pretty positive guy. So I go into situations with kind of good transparency and good intentions always. And when Grand Yacht Crew came across the kind of platform, I'm not sure how I even got into it, in a text or email. You may even know before me, or the algorithm, whatever it is. But I saw it as a community. And then even over the short term that I've been involved in, the community's grown so quick. And I keep going, wow, this is impressive. This community just keeps growing and growing and growing. And that's what I think. And you find your place in the community, like the fitness one I seem to like. It's motivating each morning. And then you got the financial one. So just talk about how many I know you mentioned 25 ambassadors, correct? Volunteer ambassadors. So how many other people do you have, or how many other platforms do you have within that? Like, is it 10, 12?
I believe there's like 11 groups at the minute, but what we're doing is we're working towards a foundation. So we want to have 6 support systems in place for Grand Yacht Crew. So we're going to support people in their finance. We've got really exciting things coming with an investor getting on board with Grand Yacht Crew, which is going to be fantastic. Charles. Yeah, Charlie's. Cool. We literally been speaking the past few days, and he's looking to get involved, which is really exciting. So we're going to do a bit of a partnership, and we're going to promote financial support to crew. The mental health group, we've got Meg, who's an amazing team member. She's part of the management team of Grand Yacht Crew. She's providing building a mental health ecosystem. I'm in talks with lots of companies who are going to provide mental health services to crew who are in need, and we'll be able to present discounted options for them to make it more accessible for them. The empowerment group, we're bringing in some incredible talent from around the world. This one's been a real exciting project of mine that,
I've been seeing it, but I haven't really understood it. Empowerment.
Yeah. So for me, it's massive because it's about inspiring people to, pursue their dreams, take on their entrepreneurial venture. For me, it's Grand Yacht Crew. It's my entrepreneurial venture. And it was my exit strategy. A big mistake I made in the Navy was I never really planned on leaving. And then when I left, I was like, what am I going to do? And it's like, I want to empower people to think that, okay, well, what's my passion? Can I build a business on this? Can I do this for the rest of my life? Can I build a business here? And we want to inspire people. And, even if people are looking to get an Airbnb, which is a common theme in the industry, we want to put them in contact with the right people, bring in leaders in the industry, inspire people to do stuff with their money rather than spend it on beers on the weekend. And then, we're building a mentorship program, which is really cool, putting in a lot of work in the background for that. My experience in the Navy, I went to the Royal Navy Leadership Academy when I was 21. I got qualified in leadership and management, and there's a lot of great exposure there. And then, learning from some of the best leaders in the military over the 8-year span was fantastic. And what I've seen coming into yachting, it's very similar. There's so many amazing leaders out there, and we're working to create a mentorship program where people like yourself can become a Grand Yacht Crew mentor, and you can pass on that leadership to green members and crew and guide them, give them that hindsight that I never had when I came into the industry. So I think that's going to be really exciting. And then, we're also working on a marine conservation project as well. I think it's really important to educate our members on, marine biology, marine conservation projects. We've got a very exciting project under development at the minute with a girl called Emma, who's come in. We was on a call to her in Fiji yesterday. She's fantastic. And we've got massive plans for that. So, it's really growing. And what I love about this is it's scalable. If people have passions in the industry and they want to be seen and they want to drive it, as long as it meets my mission for helping crew, supporting crew and making the industry better, then there's a place for you in Grand Yacht Crew. We want to take you in, we want to support you, and we want to take us to the next level, basically.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate it. I think it's a great community. I'm really excited to be a part of it. I'm sure you've got very different ages within that community, but there is different generational differences. How do you find in yachting the different generational differences? And I don't know if you want to call me an old captain or I'm 45. I'm young at heart and I'm passionate about what I do. A little bit sunburnt today from being on the dive boat, but and salt all over me. But how do you find the challenges to try and help different generations accept what you're trying to do? Because I'm sure what you're trying to do is going to upset some people. What I do upsets people in yachting, and they're saying, Captain, you shouldn't be on Instagram, or you shouldn't do this. Or the way I respond is, I'm here to help promote positivity. I'm here to help respect and engage in crew development, physical, mental, and financial. And I'm here to help sustainability in the environment. And they're the three pillars that I believe in. And I'll always stick to my strengths in that. And if people have negative intentions or don't like something, I go, you're not understanding the intention I'm doing it with. So have you found any negativity? We don't have to go names and all that, but have you found that, or the sensitivity? I mean, I like the sensitive topics. You know, hard questions.
100% no. And I've had it, you know, I've been challenged. Like, you got to think, like, this vision of mine's been in here for the past 2 years. And I've been talking openly, I'm going to create this, I'm going to do this. And people are like, you can't do that. You can't do this. You know, a deckhand can't do this. You can't change the industry. Like, who are you to do this? You know, you've not been in the industry long enough. There's always these, you know, people with opinions. But the way I see it, I agree with yourself. You just kind of summed up the answer for me. Like, I stay true to my pillars. Like, it's a value-based community. You know, my values are very clear. You know, I care about community, empowerment, excellence, inclusivity, innovation, and integrity. You know, they're my main, my pillars per se. And that's what I'm creating. It's like an authentic, like a truly authentic support system. This isn't like a money grab like what lots of people are doing out there. What it is an opportunity to help people. And it's because I didn't have that help. So when I was creating this, it was like, it's not hard to create, because I just sit back and go, well, what do I need? Well, I need help with my finances. I could really do with someone to just tell me what to do, because I'm at the point where I don't know what to do as my next step. You know what I mean? It's like really easy to create it. And then it's just about bringing it to life now. And when people bring the negativity, when they aren't on board, when people leave because they're like, what's this? I don't want to be part of this. That's fine. I see it as a positive thing. It's not going to be for everyone, but for the people it is part of, don't get in the way of their path. Just let them be. Let us create this amazing thing. We'll cultivate the culture. We'll keep it respectful. We'll keep it safe, and we'll keep it professional. And then we'll just see where we take it.
Respect, man, respect. I really do. I think it's wonderful. It's, you know, in my age, I've seen so many things in yachting, and the one thing I haven't seen is kind of what you're saying. It kind of gives me goosebumps, because it's what the industry needs. And there is a lot of platforms out there. There's a lot of businesses, and I think, you know, for profit is fine, and that's how life works. And business is business, so you need to make money. But I think a lot of companies out there do kind of overvalue what they're offering against what the person actually needs. You know, inclusivity. I've got a question about, you mentioned inclusivity. Mental health and burnout are becoming big topics in yachting. How do you see your team supporting and encouraging the crew culture? Because I'll still sit here and say it's not right. The yachting industry is too hard. We're very brutal, and I'm one of them. I'll sit here and say I am guilty. I create a standard that's almost unattainable, and I get burnt out trying to reach that standard. My crew get burnt out trying to reach that standard. And we're not sitting around holding hands and talking about it. And, you know, that's not the reality. The reality is we're working every day. We're giving each other high fives. We're going, you going to make this? Are we going to get through today? Yes. Okay, let's go. So how do you find that mental health? I mean, I'm working with some great people, the Gap Counselling, Gary Napier, the crew coach, Wave Wellness. I'm just trying to kind of reach out to different groups and kind of make sure there's tools for people. And the crew are kind of sometimes, you know, with Wave Wellness, the crew are like, you know, we're all good. I'm like, as long as, you know, you may be today, you may meet someone who's not good. And if you can help them by just steering them, what's your kind of thought within your platform? Because we're not psychologists.
So this is it. So for me, it's about referral systems in place with certified professionals who can help in them extreme cases. You know, that these cases have popped up for us, and we've been able to refer people to the right support. which has been fantastic. What I care about is the ecosystem. Is there are stages of mental health before you get to that difficult place where you feel vulnerable, you feel like you're becoming a burden, you feel lost, and you feel like you're at rock bottom. So for me, it's about building an ecosystem that prevents it. Like they say, prevention is the best cure. So that's what the community aims to do. We're going to create this ecosystem that provides the free resources and tools. We promote a culture of professionalism, but also self-care, and we want to bring in experts in nutrition, PTs who can offer advice on health and fitness, and then obviously experienced yachting professionals who've been there, done it, who have the the transparency to say, this is what you're about to commit to, and this is how I managed myself, and it led to mental health problems. Don't make the same mistake as me. This is how you can avoid it. And it's promoting that and making it available to everyone. Then we'll have less people suffering from mental health, and we'll have more people able to take on them high standards. And that's what Grand Yacht Crew stands for. One of our core values is excellence. We want people to pursue excellence. Now, you can't do that if you're not looking after yourself first. So we'll create the ecosystem so people can look after themselves. We'll drive a culture so people have the top standards in the industry. So that's my answer to that. Hopefully, that sums it up.
Exceptionally well spoken, Nick.
Yeah, thank you.
Well spoken.
Can you tell I've been thinking about it for years?
Yeah. What's your education then? The Royal Navy. Just in the Royal Navy, I was a weapons specialist. I was an instructor for 6 years as well. So between deployments. Towards the end, I was a missile defense specialist. I'd done a lot of anti-piracy ops as well, which was really cool. I had my fair share of drug busts back in the day, which is quite cool. And then, basically I studied business management part-time at uni. I didn't see it through though, so I'm not going to lie and say I did the whole thing. But that's all right.
I did. I got halfway through. I had great grades and stuff. And then I got qualified in project management towards my end of my career. And then I moved to Australia, and that's partly why I gave up uni, because it was right, yachting, Australia, let's go. I've always been a bit of a fanatic for, learning, doing business. I'm always on the podcast, my morning wipe downs, it'd just be me, headset in, probably Stephen Bartlett on repeat.
There you go. You know exactly what you're doing. Yeah, exactly. You got to keep motivated somehow, because it's hard. But why yachting? Why, you mentioned Australia and yachting, which is one thing, but why yachting? What drove you to yachting?
For me, I loved the Navy. I did. I anyone who met me a few years back, they would have been like, Nick will be in the Navy forever. I was selected for promotion to petty officer just before I left, and my career was panned out in front of me. But unfortunately, there's a few things you can't control when you're in the military, and the things include where you're going to go, what draft you're going to get. My draft was painted out for me, and it would have been sitting in Portsmouth in the UK for the rest of my 20s, and it kind of put me off, to be honest. I was
Australia, whereabouts? Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide?
So, I moved to Adelaide because my family were here. They were my inspiration. I come from quite a poor background in Blackpool. There wasn't really much there for me, not much opportunity for me per se.
Not much for anyone in Blackpool. I've been to Blackpool. Not much for anyone there.
Well, there is for a few, but I guess for me there wasn't, and that's it. I kind of was I'm not in a rush to go back, and it was well, what's next? You can't just go travel the world with the Navy and then go pick up a basic job and do nothing with the rest of your life. So I was right, let's see what the next adventure is. I've always been that kind of nomad lifestyle. I kind of enjoy it, and for me, yachting was the closest thing to the Navy that I could go into. It's still got the similar cultures. It's got the same transferable skills and lifestyle, living on board, being with a crew, having that family etiquette with your crew. And I love the career progression opportunities that come with it. And also, that I did a lot of traveling in the Navy. But, in 3 years, I've done a hell of a lot more. Hell of a lot more, and I've earned a lot more. So
that's strange. Some of the clients we have, they're asking how long I've dived for, and I'm like, I've dived for 25 years. Yeah. That's older than most of my crew. You know what I mean? I'm I was an instructor for 25 years.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So yachting does offer a lot. And I think it's a beautiful space. but there is fears I have of it, and I see so many situations, whether it's fires on board or mental health issues or heart attacks as leaders, as captains. But it does come from the top. Like, your company is going to be successful. I believe that because of what I'm hearing from you and your skill set and your passion. Before I go into what's next for your company, I try and wrap it up after 15 minutes. We've already talked too long, but I'm really excited to learn. For me, I feel like the problem comes from the top in yachting. The problem comes from the captains. The problem comes from the owners. The problem, the relationships. What's your advice? And people don't like getting advice from different people, in my experience in life. I like it. I love getting advice from different people, different environments and structures. What's your advice for senior people in the industry who can have a positive or negative effect on junior crew? That's my question for you. What's your advice for people like captains, like brokers, like management companies who see Grand Crew, and what's your advice for them? How can they be a part of it? Or how can they help?
I think firstly, it's like understanding like what your definition of leadership is. For me, it's two things. It's accountability and responsibility. And as long as you're aware that you're responsible for not only yourself, but the leadership role and everyone underneath you. So, if something's going on that's wrong at the bottom, it's probably coming from mistakes that you're probably making that you're not seeing. So you've got to be self-aware, and then you've got to be accountable. You're not always going to get it right. I was an awful leader when I got promoted in the Navy. I had no idea how to lead, but you make them mistakes, but you hold yourself accountable to develop and get better, and raise your hand when you get it wrong, and just, you're learning. Like, I'm learning this as a leader of Grand Yacht Crew. I've never been a CEO of a company before. I'm taking on new challenges, but it's about, bringing it back to that my definition of leadership, responsibility and accountability. I'm responsible to everyone involved, that I want to bring the best out in them. They're only going to perform if I can continue to perform as well. So I have to look after myself, and then I have to think about them as well, put them first. So my advice to people in senior leadership is put yourself in their shoes and think about how you look, and then hold yourself accountable to bring the best out of them, and you'll succeed. And ultimately, in Grand Yacht Crew, we want great leaders. I want the badge of Yacht Crew to mean something. I want to be seen as like industry leaders in professional standards and support to crew, and for me, it's about getting behind that, supporting it, because you'll have noticed on the Instagram, my face isn't there. I don't like being the face. This is something I'm not comfortable with.
As a captain, I have to be the face. As a captain, the buck's not for me. So it's different. When you're running a company, you've got different structures. As a captain, I'm like, that's me, people.
It'll probably change. But for me, it's about the people, and that's why we showcase the community. And for the great leaders out there who've got the senior experience, they have all the answers we're looking for. They have the connections, the support systems that we're looking for. So just bring it together. It's amazing what you can do when you bring everyone together. So I feel like Grand Yacht Crew is a solution to that. So hopefully we do it.
It is. It really is. And I've worked with some great people in the industry, and I see what you're doing, and that's why I reached out to you direct. I saw what you're doing, and I really have faith in it that it'll help people. Anything I can do, let me know. I don't know much except going to sea and being a father and being a husband. But before we go, what's next for Grand Yacht Crew? What's the upcoming projects? What's the features? People are asking about what you're collaborating on, because we know what's something now.
So for me, I've spent a lot of time over the past couple of weeks to present structure, processes, procedures. I've built a management team. They've got their own departments now, which is fantastic. We're seeing the groups as departments. And we're going to build those foundations now. We're going to take them to the next level. We're headhunting talent around the world to drive initiatives. So I believe that the groups are really going to level up now. We're going to offer a lot of value to our members. And then in the background, for me, it's about taking this business to the next level. I want to monetize this so we can gain capital, so we can reinvest it into the community, and we can give people opportunities to develop. If we can pay for people's education, sponsor businesses, if we can empower people to do more, like run clubs, sponsored events, all these amazing things, I see that as the future. So we've got a app under development at the minute. It's really innovative. It's an awesome project. It's really fun to create. The guys who are creating it are fantastic. So yeah, it's really exciting. It's a case of now I'm taking a lot of risk. I'm committing my life to this, and the people involved see what we're working towards. They want to get behind it, and it's now being a team, taking it in the right direction, and just staying true to our roots. Basically, keep it authentic and look after everyone involved.
Well, I'm sure you're going to do an amazing job, and don't forget to enjoy the journey, because building an app, that's pretty special. I think not many people in their life have an opportunity to turn around, and it's where you'll be in 5 years, who knows? But I think you're going down all the right steps to be successful, and I wish you nothing but the best. People can get a hold of you at www.Grand Yacht Crew or at Grand Yacht Crew. What else would you like to finish with, Nick? I really appreciate your time. I know it's early for you. 5 o'clock? What is it?
Yeah, I think it's like 6 now or something. No, 5:30. Yeah, 5:30. Yeah. But it's good. But no, you've just said it. And so Grand Yacht Crew on the Instagram. If you're looking to get into the WhatsApp groups, just drop us a message. We reply to everyone. No one ever gets left without a reply. And just reach out to us. The website's going to get developed in the coming weeks, so there'll be more information on there. And I've just brought in a marketing team to support our socials, so we're going to really push it to the next level. So, stay tuned.
Awesome. Well, anything you need of me, let me know. I'm here on Yacht Unbridled. We're going to Alaska next. We're really grateful for the owner and the team that support the program of Unbridled. And for me, my platform, we're not offering much. We're just offering support for companies that we work with and transparency in the industry. A lot of times these yachts, they kind of, people have this image of them, and I just want to be positive and transparent and just show people that there's good environments out there that you can work with. There's good experiences, but it's not easy. It's not easy. And if you need the support, there's now platforms to reach out to, whether it's financial, emotional, physical, you name it. What was the one you were most fond of before we go?
Empowerment group. Yeah.
I haven't got into that group yet. I've got in all the other groups. I'm kind of there, but I haven't seen the empowerment one. I'll get into that. Anyway, Nick, really honoured to meet you. Really glad you're in my home country. Anything you need, don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you, folks, for tuning in. Be safe. Pura vida from Costa Rica.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Really appreciate it.